for Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Oh, you can!
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and it's episode 50.
Yay!
And it's a special occasion. So for a special occasion, you need to get a very special guest. So with me here today is my friend...
Roger.
There you go. It took you long enough. That would be my old man. Surprise guest. Yay! I'm going to have him tell some stories. We're going to ask him about some things. First off, let's get some fast facts out of the way. Let me know if any of these are not true. You are 61.
That's correct.
And you're a plumber.
That's correct.
For how many years?
40 years.
40 years. And in those 4 decades of plumbing, what is the worst, grossest thing you've had to work on?
The worst, grossest thing.
Think of the horror story of plumbing.
Sewage ejectors.
The fuck does that mean?
A sewage ejector is when you have to take sewage and put it in a tank and then pump it out someplace.
Go on.
The problem being when the pump fails, then you need to change the pump, and sometimes you have to deal with the uglies in there.
The uglies, air quotes. You're talking about shit.
That's the usual case, yes.
Boy, way to keep it dry. You have been run over by a car before.
That's true.
Just the one time.
Just once, yes.
Just to give us the setup. You're sledding with Aunt Chris.
That's right.
So fucking tell the story real quick, the abridged version.
This is back in the, when I was in 4th grade, so that would be about 10 years old, in about 1965. And where we lived, we had a steep hill that went down into the yard from the road. Across the road, there was a hill that went up, and it was a gigantic field. And this particular spring, there was a lot of hard crusted snow because we'd gotten water on top of the snow, so we were able to run our hard runner sleds down the field, across the road, down the driveway, around the house, and back to the dump. So we managed to slide pretty much all day, and at one point we were called into dinner, and that's when my sister went in, and I decided I needed one more ride. So I turned around and went up the hill. I stopped about halfway for some reason, and I thought this would be far enough. So I turned around, dropped my sled, and headed down the hill. When I got to the road, I was met by my neighbor's 55 Ford. And I slid underneath it, and it was about 300 feet of grinding and sparks and stars before the car stopped.
Stars?
I saw many stars.
That would be a concussion.
Yeah, that was more than likely.
And what was the lasting injuries after that one? How bad were you banged up?
Well, I was pretty lucky. My back was wrenched a little bit. When the car stopped, my neighbors were pretty concerned that they'd killed me, and my neighbor lady who was driving ran home screaming.
Wait, hang on. She got out of the car and went running down the road like a fucking maniac with her hands in the air?
Ran home screaming.
Brilliant.
And fortunately, her sister-in-law was with, and she got out, and she had a cooler head, and she went to get my dad. So it was about 300 feet back to the driveway, and then another 300 feet down the driveway, and by the time they got back, I managed to, once I got my wits about me, turn over and slide out from underneath the A-frame of the car. And I walked to the house.
Just on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being clean, 5 being up to the back of your neck, how full of shit were your pants?
I don't think there was a problem there. I've got some lasting scars, though. Pretty ugly, especially in the morning.
What?
facial scars. It closed up my eye, and my face was a big scar ball because I ground my face into the ice for about 300 feet before the car stopped.
Well, it could have been too bad because your eye looks fine now. It's like you got that Forrest Whitaker Wincy thing going on.
Well, fortunately, I'll be able to see okay from then on, but left some scars. Basically, that was about it. Got a week off of school.
Oh, lovely. On to the next time you skin the cat on death. You have been struck by lightning. Twice.
In one day.
In one day.
What are the odds?
I'd say that you probably should have bought a fucking lottery ticket, but...
That would have been a good idea.
Okay, so the lightning strikes you first.
Well, set the scene. We're camped out on the beach down in Gordon, Wisconsin with our camper and...
Wisconsin.
Sitting at a picnic table, playing cards with about 8 people. And
you blasphemed God and he struck you down.
No. There was a lot of lightning dancing around, and we were sitting on the beach under a cover, and we thought, well, that's perfectly safe, right?
Was it a metal frame?
Yes.
Fucking brilliant.
And unfortunately, your mother was sitting next to me with her feet on the metal rung when the lightning struck the ground about 30 feet away.
And she acted as a conductor.
Yes, she did. And her shoulder was against my heart, unfortunately, and the next thing I knew, I was on my back on the ground looking at stars again. About half an hour later, I walked to my neighbor's camper, and I was going to help Jim get his stuff out of his camper, and he had just put 1 foot up onto the step. He was holding a metal pan when the lightning struck and blew the pan out of his hand, burned his hand, and he fell on top of me. So that was twice in a half hour, about 30 feet apart.
That's indirect. You didn't get struck directly.
What are the odds?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. You are one of 13 kids.
Yes.
Yes. Which begs the question, did Grandma ever say no?
When I wanted cookies.
Not really what I was driving at. What was Odie just that charming, or she's just like, whatever, I don't care, get it over with?
I don't know. It wasn't part of that.
Well, unfortunately, that also makes you an orphan.
Because
your parents are dead.
Okay, I guess that's one way of looking at it.
Well, when you don't have parents, you're an orphan, and yours are dead. So it's you and Fievel.
Okay.
You're possibly narcoleptic.
Which means?
What do you mean? You don't know what narcolepsy is? Jesus Christ. You know, those people that just fall asleep against their will? In the drop of a hat, like you seem to lay down, and all of a sudden your bowels give loose, and a cloud of green death comes out, and then you're unconscious.
When my batteries run out, they run out, yes.
You might be like an old laptop that needs to be charged all the time and plugged in.
Maybe.
At this point. You're balding some.
Correct. But hair is overrated.
At least it's on the top of your head and not in the front, like mine is starting to run away from my face.
That's true. And I've offered to shave it all off like yours.
And I said, don't you fucking dare, because people are going to think we look too much alike already, and then you're going to throw that on top of it, and they're going to wonder if I'm recruiting you into a white supremacist gang. You want the guys at work to make fun of you before you retire here? You shave that head and see what fucking happens.
I may, just for the fun of it.
Yeah, you're going to look like a penis with a mustache.
What can I say?
You are, true or false, a human garbage disposal.
Define disposal.
You will eat anything.
Not anything.
Yes, you will. That's not even true. If it's food, it goes in your mouth, even if it looks like food.
I value food, yes.
I'm surprised that that wax fruit in that display thing in the dining room is still intact.
Well, my teeth aren't good enough to eat through that, so...
Well, on top of an ambush interview with my own father, I wanted to debut a new bit to the show for episode 50. So without further ado, here is Jeremy Irons Raps. And now, Jeremy Irons Raps.
Now I love pussy. And pussy loves me. Like a lemon to the lime and the bumble to the bee. You know it's real good, a nigger can't resist it. Couldn't be a Fruit Loop, so don't get me twisted. Because in some pussy is the place to be. Always fucking is the life for me. Spread them legs open, far and wide. Fuck this shit, just let me put my dick inside.
That was Jeremy Irons Raps. All right, back to it. Well, now that we've gotten all that getting to know you sort of out of the way, it is time for the trial of Papa Blumpkin. That's you.
Trial.
I've written down some things that I feel you need to explain or atone for, so there's only 6 of them. Number 1. My ungodly uncomfortability with rodents stems from an incident, I believe, from when I was about 6 years old, and there was a mouse in the basement, and it got snapped in the trap. And the trap snapped it so hard, it fucking decapitated the mouse. So I went down to the basement to see it out of curiosity and fear, because kids want to see the things they're scared of, just like the Chi-Chi is scared of dogs, but says, "Oh, can I pet the dog?" Because she's a meathead and she doesn't understand she's going to get bit in the face. So I was standing next to you with a dead mouse in a bag. And you said, "Oh, do you want to see it?" Do you recall what you did next?
You said you wanted to see it.
Yeah. Do you know how you showed it to me? Do you recall this?
I do not.
Yeah, you opened up a tiny little bag. When I put my face back, you went, "Ooh," to scare me. And then I ran upstairs and I damn near peed my pants. And thank you for that, because now every time I see a mouse, I start to tremble.
Well, you have to face your fears.
Yeah. The Easter Bunny costume incident. What the hell were you thinking?
I thought that'd be great to see the Easter Bunny.
Explain what it was made out of.
Well, we used asbestos suits made out of white material that was non-porous. And I turned myself into a 6'2" Easter Bunny.
Mm-hmm. And I was how old?
Oh, must have been 3 or 4, I'm guessing.
Okay, so I'm 3 or 4. I'm maybe 3 feet tall. And a 6'2" tall fucking Easter Bunny that didn't think to cut a mouth hole in the fucking costume is suddenly standing in the goddamn entryway of your house.
Hey, you're Easter Bunny. How are you?
That's true.
Yes. You think you maybe should have knelt down to make yourself less physically imposing, perhaps?
I didn't realize it was going to be a problem.
It's a 6 foot tall fucking bunny. And you didn't even make the ears convincing. The face looked like a goddamn Picasso. It was all out of order, if I remember it, because you got pictures of it. It's like you just made the nose out of a cotton ball and some pipe cleaners.
It was improvised a bit, yeah.
It's not store quality. Why? Why did you want to do that?
I thought it'd be a great thrill for you.
And what did Mom think?
She thought it'd be a good idea, too.
Well, clearly you two did not pregame that one by testing the waters of how I responded to giant fucking bunnies.
Another failed experiment.
I guess. How about that first time I saw a black kid?
Well, there was a look of surprise on your face. I'll have to say that.
We were at Monticello at the campground, and then we were at the pool. And there was a black kid.
That's right. The look of astonishment on your face was something to behold.
Go on.
Well, I tried to ignore it. I didn't know how I was going to explain that in front of the little boy. So I just kind of asked you if you wanted to talk to him and warm up to him a bit.
And my response was?
Of more shock and fear, I think.
I believe the quote is, "What's that? What's that?"
From the mouths of babes.
Yeah, so that was my reaction, was to say, "What's that?" Was to ask what he was. And you, being the quick-thinking guy that you were, froze up. Whereas last week we're at the playground, and we ran into an Asian kid with Asperger's syndrome, an albino kid, and a little girl who was the Chi-Chi's age with alopecia. That was in the span of 45 minutes.
It is a changing world.
I had to explain to the Juice what alopecia is.
Someday you can explain it to me, too.
Yeah, it's when you have a disorder where you don't have hair at all.
Uh-huh.
It's a onset. Completely bald, little girl. Completely bald.
Like I say, hair's overrated.
Well, she was a 4-year-old girl, so I feel like maybe she might beg to differ in a few years here. You taught me how to swear. Inadvertently.
Well, you were always listening when you shouldn't, I think.
I was in the car with you, and this happened in Florida.
It was a wrong turn.
Was it a wrong turn? That's all it was? One wrong turn, and suddenly all these new exciting words were said that made my brain tickle with excitement.
It was just a wrong turn.
Okay. Do you recall at any time saying, those are bad words, don't say them?
I believe I did.
I don't remember that.
It was a unforgiving situation.
Who was driving? You were Mom. I believe it was you.
Yes, it was me.
And
I was able to forgive myself, but...
well, that's good.
Your mother wasn't.
I would hate for that burden to wear on your soul. Tell me... See if I can get through this without laughing to her. Do you recall an incident or instance where you would have uttered this phrase? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
An incident? I guess I don't recall.
You don't recall that, huh? Well, it just so happens that some of the best memories are from Florida, where I learned how to swear. And where years after that instance where I first heard all those naughty words, where there we were, lost again. Only this time it was Mom driving. And I don't know what she was mad about, but she sure was mad. I think you guys were fighting over food.
Really?
You were hungry and getting hangry. And she didn't want to stop. And you said something along the effects of, well, what does it take for a guy to get a meal around here? I just want to eat twice a day. And then she did what she frequently does. She got angry, and she got angry for a long time. And at some point, you got so sick of getting chewed out, you covered your ears, and in a moment of clarity, just shouted the words, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, this happened.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to doubt. I will never fucking forget this.
This wasn't the same day as the ice bucket incident, was it?
No, absolutely not. Those are two entirely different trips.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Why would you yell shut up in the car mad at her? I said she was driving. You drove to the airport after the shit bucket incident.
So why don't you tell me about the ice bucket incident?
I already covered it in the Poop Chronicles.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There was an ice bucket for a wet bar at the condo. Neil and I thought it would be funny if I shat in it. And then I did. And then I stored it out the window all night. And then the next morning we were going to leave, and I was going to put it in the freezer and leave it for the maid so she would find a frozen turd. Unfortunately, Mom was doing a mental checklist and asked where the ice bucket was, which interrupted breakfast. And then I panicked and said, I know where it is. I'll go grab it. So I ran to the room, grabbed the bucket from outside the window, shook the turd, which was about 12 inches long, by the way. It was a full-blown Coco Anaconda. And I put it into the bowl and flushed it. And then I was frantically trying to rinse the fucking leftover poo smears out of the inside of the bucket. And she barges into the bathroom because I unfortunately forgot to lock the other door. And she comes in and says, well, what's it doing in here? Oh, it smells like shit in here. And I tried to blame it on Grandma, saying she just took a dump. And then Mom sees the poo smears and goes, what's that? I go, it's mud. We left it out by the pool, and those girls that we befriended from Iowa filled it full of dirt and stuff to play a joke on us. And she bought it at first, I think, because she didn't say anything. And then I rinsed it out, and then I put some shampoo in there to get rid of the poo stink, and then I put it back. And then we loaded up into the van, and we were waiting for you, doing the final walkthrough. And then Mom came out and accused me of shitting in it, which, unfortunately, I didn't have a very good poker face about, which instantly gave it away. And then she was mad. Boy, you don't realize how bad you just set yourself up.
For what?
And then you got into the van.
And?
Do you remember what brilliant phrase you infamously uttered?
It probably wasn't good for you.
Well, it's worse for you. Because then you started yelling at me, and you said, "You think it's funny? You think shit's funny?" You know what's coming next?
Yep.
"I'm going to take a shit on your birthday cake. Is that going to be funny?" Which made me and Neil laugh, because of course, you shitting on a birthday cake paints a very vivid image in someone's head. That was the most brilliant threat you could come up with at the moment, was to defecate on a celebratory baked good.
And that explains why you hate your birthdays.
Yeah, no, that just explains why to this day, anytime I utter the phrase, I can't do so with a straight face, and if Neil says it to me, or I say it to Neil, we both break out into uproarious laughter.
I see.
Yeah, you didn't see the light at the end of that tunnel of that story, did you? Why does it smell like rotting meat when you gas?
Why?
Yes. It smells like 3-day-old sun-dried puked-on steak. And mold.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit for the best-smelling gas.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. Thank God there's not wallpaper in your family room.
There was.
When? There's one strip that runs beneath the ledger board of the display railing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's not like floor-to-ceiling wallpaper. Although, coincidentally, you do most of your shitting in the downstairs bathroom, and there's that mold problem you keep having on the ceiling. Direct correlation, perhaps?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Hmm.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
Oh, here's a goodie. Hey, remember that time that I rode my bike up to Kmart when I was 5 and I didn't tell you I was leaving?
Yes, I do.
I don't think as an adult I've ever asked you what your mindset is, and now that I have children, I would be fucking petrified. So, you went out to mow the lawn in the backyard. I asked to go to Kmart. You told me maybe later. Brilliant comeback, by the way. Because that implanted a seed in my mind that perhaps there was a possibility I would get to go purchase a G.I. Joe that evening.
And
I didn't like waiting, so it was just me and in the house. And then I decided I was sick of waiting, so I was just going to ride my bike up there. And as everybody that knows the story knows, I rode my bike 1.5 miles, or give or take there, maybe 2, up the road to Kmart, and I bought a G.I. Joe. It took me like 45 minutes to an hour, probably, to pick out a fucking G.I. Joe. Because when I got there, I didn't have enough for the real deal, so I had to buy that knockoff brand, the Core, or Corpse, depending on how you read. And then I rode my bike home. And it just so happens that I got home about the same time as Mom did from that city council meeting that she left early because the police interrupted to tell her son was missing. And I ran upstairs and I ran my own bath. And I was in the bathtub, and then later on I had a handprint on my ass. But that's neither here nor there. This question is, at what point did you realize something was wrong, and what went through your head?
Well, when I couldn't find you, that was a clue.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
When your bike was gone, that was a second clue.
And
then I had to announce it to your mother, who was in the middle of a meeting.
Ah.
And then I drove every square inch of trying to find you.
The whole city?
Well, mostly in our area.
Even though I said Kmart, huh?
Right.
I probably would have just driven the direct route to Kmart and then looked for the red bike. Which you wouldn't have found because I parked it on a fire escape stairwell along the side of the building.
Uh-huh. It was interesting. That was the receipt that gave you away.
What receipt?
The one we found in the bag that said exactly what time and where you purchased the G.I. Joe.
Well, I wasn't going to ride to Target. Target was halfway across town. I even asked to go to Kmart. I'm starting to feel like a secondary career after you retire from plumbing as a private eye is probably not in the cards.
Probably not.
I want to go to Kmart. Where the fuck did he go?
Uh-oh, retard alert.
How much panicking? Were you more panicked that something happened to me or that you were going to get screamed at by Mom?
Yes.
I love that your main concern is, oh, fuck, now she's going to yell at me more.
You son of a bitch!
That's terrific. So how long between when you realized... Did you at least go through the whole house first, or did you just go, okay, the bike's gone?
Well, I figured you were gone, so the bike was gone, so there was no sense looking in the house.
What if I had just brought in the bike in the house?
We never did that.
We didn't, but we also didn't shit in the backyard. But then there was that time that I did, and then I went back to look at it to see so I could laugh at it, and then I stepped in my good church shoes.
Another plan failed, huh?
Well, I didn't want to stop playing on the swing set. I had to go poop, and then when I held it for so long, I realized that I wasn't going to make it to the house. I had to improvise. That's where you and I differ. I am great in the clinch on the fly. You, well, there's no bike. He's probably dead. I better start figuring out how the hell I'm going to explain it to the wife. Guess we're going to have to make another one.
12 seconds later.
Nothing? You got no response to that?
No, nothing.
That's lovely. Any other parting shots you'd like to take at me back before we end the segment?
Well, we could talk about the time that I asked you to sit down so I could explain the birds and the bees to you.
That's not going to reflect any better on you.
Your comeback was, yeah, sure. What do you want to know?
I'm in my room because you brilliantly gave me cable television in my room at a very young age. And I was watching Lethal Weapon 2. And Mel Gibson was having one of the crappiest softcore scenes in history with a woman inside of a small camper. And then you barged in on me watching it and said, you probably shouldn't be watching this. Why? Because of that? Do you know what they're doing? Yeah. Humping. Well, we should probably have a talk then about the birds and the bees. And then instead of trying to instruct me, you asked, so tell me everything you know about sex. And then my reply was, what do you want to know? Oh, God damn it.
Unfortunately, it ended up being a pretty short conversation.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Mm-hmm.
Thinking back, that was probably a mistake.
You think? I was 8 years old. I would have said, what you're watching is for adults. That's inappropriate. You can't watch that. And then you don't have to have any parenting time. You can just say, don't fucking watch that. Just like I do with the juice when I'm like, violence, go out of the room. And then she gets scared and runs out of the room. All I got to do is tell her something's inappropriate. And she gets deathly afraid I'm going to freak out and yell at her about it. So she just complies. It's great.
Apparently we have different parenting skills.
If I'm in your position, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to turn off the TV and go, I don't know why you thought it was okay to watch that, but it is not appropriate that he was putting that in that woman's butt.
We're an unusual family.
I didn't see the show myself, so I can't speak for that.
No, but there was that time you and Mom caught me watching Basic Instinct. You're not going to remember that. Basic Instinct was like the closest thing to actual pornography that Hollywood put out under the guise of a real film in the 1990s. And you two caught me watching it. And then you guys wanted to watch it. So then you made me sit there and turn around every time there was something naughty going on. And then I went to my room and snuck my locker mirror back. And Mom would say, turn around, this is dirty. And I'd turn around, and then I'd just use the locker mirror to view over my shoulder what was going on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Very, hey, buddy, shut the fuck up! Yeah, so there I was. I was very resourceful.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
And now, Jeremy Irons raps.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. 'Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you talkin' and where you walkin', or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. I really hate to trip, but I gotta look. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kinda G that little homies wanna be like. On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
That was Jeremy Irons raps. It is time for the episode 50 RPS Challenge Championship. Shut up, you. It will be a three-way dance that I somehow made work between Nurse Ashley, our current champion, Graham of It Radio, and The Juice.
What up?
Who's also a two-time former champion. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Blumpkin and Friends proudly brings to you the Rock, Paper, Scissors Intercontinental Championship Challenge Championship of the World! Are you ready to play the RPS Challenge?
Yes, yes.
Hand number 1.
Paper.
Ashley throws paper. Graham throws paper. No point.
Three-way tie.
Hand number 2.
Scissors.
Ashley throws a rock. Graham threw a scissors. Point to Ashley. Hand number 3.
Rockety, rockety, rock.
Ashley threw a rock. But Graham threw paper. Point for Graham.
What? No, rock beats paper.
No, that's retarded.
Yay!
So we have Ashley with 1 point and Graham with 1 point.
Please, I want to be champion.
Hand number 4.
Scissors.
Ashley threw a scissors.
Duh. Dow.
Graham of It Radio threw a rock.
Dow.
Point for Graham. That's 2 points for Graham. So Ashley has to get this next hand because you have been mathematically eliminated.
I don't want to be eliminated.
Hand number 5.
Paper.
Ashley throws a paper.
Duh.
Graham throws a scissors, which cuts paper and means 3 points for Graham of It Radio.
Wow.
Shut up. Your new Rock, Paper, Scissors Intercontinental Championship Challenge champion, Graham of It Radio.
Mecca like a high, Mecca. Bark, bark, bark!
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
God damn it. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? Yeah, what do you what? Oh shit. Just like, it's just a fucking crate. Okay, I'm waiting for things off eBay. I'm not waiting for a giant person-sized crate, so... Oh, please be, like, sent to the wrong... Oh, God, please be one of those sweet-ass Japanese sex dolls. Oh, God, fingers crossed. I'm gonna fuck her mouth so good. Okay. Is there, like, a note? Fucking... papers? Or what do we... Oh, here we go. Please take care of this robot. He was too outdated. P.S. Probably don't take him out in public. What the fuck does that mean? Alright, I swear to fucking God, if I open this thing out like an Al-Qaeda jumps out, I'm gonna be piffed. Fucking wake me up, bringing the goddamn doorbell mystery package. Okay, this is how too many movies start, where somebody opens up a package and then it's like, oh my God, look at this, and then their whole life goes to shit. Well, how the fuck am I... Okay, well, hold on, mystery crate that, statistically speaking, probably contains something that's gonna kill me. I'm gonna go get myself a screwdriver. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, the only way I'm going to fucking find out is if I actually do this shit. So let's open her up, see what we got going on here. All right. Just, all right. Jesus. Fucking Christ. No fucking way. Dad is a goddamn robot. Why the fuck is there a robot? This thing's like 4 fucking feet tall. And somebody just left this here. Okay, this is some like... Haha, very funny, camera people. So this is when I go to touch it, and then it's the fucking doll from Saw, and whips out a knife and slices my Achilles tendon, and I can't crawl away, and then some speakers like...
Good afternoon, Reverend. How much blood are you willing to spill to save your life?
Some fucking stupid bullshit. I don't know. Well, I guess I should probably fire this motherfucker up, shouldn't I, huh? Let's just, okay. Gonna do that.
Greetings. I am Robotron 2000. Robotron needs command.
Stand up? I guess? Do you have a name?
My name is Robotron 2000. Didn't I already say that? Fuckface. Beep boop.
Whoa. I can see that we are going to be fast friends. Robotron?
Yes.
I don't really care for your name. Can I give you like a new name?
Very well. What is my new name?
Well, my name is the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin. That starts with a J. What if we call you Jbot 2000 because you're going to be my robot now?
Jbot 2000. Whatever. Beep boop.
Well, we should probably get you in the house before the neighbors see you and call the cops, and then they're going to fucking take you away, and then they'll auction you off to some idiotic high school engineering program that'll turn you into a battle bot. So, what, yeah, come on in. Come on in. Oh shit, watch this. Oh, God.
Ow. Fuck. 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 Ow.
There's a step there. Mind the landing.
Thanks for the warning, dick. Beep boo.
Holy Christ, how about that? The debut of Jbot 2000, a new character on the show. And I just gotta say that there is something slightly off with this guy. You'll find out in the future. But what an amazing 50th episode that was. I got my old man in here. I didn't tell him that he was going to be on the show. I pretty much tricked him into being on the show. And then also we have a new RPS Intercontinental Championship Challenge champion, Graham of It Radio. And the debut of the new bit, Jeremy Irons Raps. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And thank you for joining me today. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook.com/group/Blumpkin&Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin. And you are?
Roger.
Good night.
Unfucking believable. Who signed me up for this garbage? Word to your mother that somebody is getting sued over this shit.